Welcome into the latest edition of the Stealing with the Boys podcast. I am your host, JUNNIE Riddle, here along with my boys,
JAWUAN Williams.
And again, no Coach Campbell. And he is not on Christmas vacation anymore. My man had to work and forgot that we were scheduled to podcast today, and he got held up. So, Trey, that is on you. But don't worry, folks. We will for sure have Trey locked down for the episode before the playoffs. So, all those who missed Trey will be back. He will be back. But in bigger news, like, share, subscribe. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are posting content on there all the time, so you can also check us out there as well. Steelers, Christmas Day. Man, it's almost been a week, and it's probably taken us a week to talk about it. But the Steelers fall to the Kansas City Chiefs 29-10 in what honestly felt like a game that they were, really never in. So we're not going to go in and recap it because there's really not much to recap other than, we got our ass kicked, JAWUAN. You got our ass kicked 3 games in a row. In all honesty, this is not the time that I wanted to admit that I was right, but what did I say when we had this whole conversation about whether the Steelers were contenders? I wanted to see us put some performances against big time players, and I mentioned these 3 games, and we get beat by the Eagles by 14, the Ravens by 17, and then the Chiefs by 19. Your thoughts?
Start by saying this. After that game, I was really zoned out. I didn't even look at nothing Steelers related. Junnie was sending stuff in the group chat. I was just like, I really don't even want to respond, give the time of day. Start by saying this. So I'll start with Coach Tomlin. So you're not tired of the same season over and over again. You're not tired of, it doesn't look like we're gonna right now, well, at the moment, it doesn't look like we're gonna win. We're not really contenders right now. I don't really know what we are, but we look like the same team from last year, the year before. A consistent thing since at least 2016, 2017. And I'm pretty sure all Steelers fans would like to say, we're tired of this. We're tired of, the consistent mediocrity of this team, this franchise. And it goes down, all down the roster. It starts with the coaching because the last 3 games, we just been outcoached. I say 2 out of 3 games we could have won, but we was outcoached. And then minor miscues, but still, this is getting annoying. It's getting very annoying.
I think what it really kind of comes down to is just where we are as a football team. To be honest with you, a trend that we have seen. You mentioned the last time that we haven't seen a season like this has really been the 2016 season where they went to the AFC Championship and lost to the Patriots, and the 2017 team that went 13-3 and looked like they could be potential Super Bowl champions, and they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars in embarrassing fashion. And really, ever since then, the 2018 season and on, the Steelers have had a 3-game losing streak in every single season since 2017. So starting with the 2018 season and on, there has been a 3-game losing streak, whether it was in the beginning of the season or towards the end of the season, in every single season since then, which has been really crazy. To be honest with you, I never really bought into us being contenders, and I just now kind of looking at what's happened. I mean, what really is our best win on the season? Is it Washington? Is it beating the Ravens at home? I mean, is it the Chargers? I mean, to be honest with you, other than really beating the Ravens at home, they haven't beaten a contender this year. And the Chargers and Washington are really the only playoff teams that are noteworthy that they have beaten. They beat the Broncos in week 2, but
But that Commanders game was a big game, though.
I know, but if you let's say this, basically the playoffs are, besides one or two teams, they're already set in stone. If you had to rank the Commanders in terms of playoff teams, would they even be a top 10 team?
Yeah.
I'd say no.
Well, I mean,
I know this
is kind of off topic, but they just beat the Eagles.
They beat the Eagles with Kenny Pickett.
You can't. I'm not gonna give them all that. Their defense is
and that game led up 33 points.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be solid.
I'm not buying it. I don't think Washington's all that good. I mean, Washington's definitely a playoff team, but they're going to be one and done. They're going to be one and done in the playoffs. Like who are they beating in the NFC? They're not beating the Rams. They're not beating the Eagles. They're not beating the Lions. They're not beating the Vikings.
Well, you
probably wouldn't beat the Packers.
See, I don't know, because in the playoffs is a different scenario and it's a different story. Like how you just said, 2017 we was 13-3 and we went to playoffs thinking that we was Super Bowl contenders and we lost in the first round.
Yeah,
so you can't really say they're not going to beat them.
So let's kind of get back on topic then, because let's not veer off to other teams and stuff. But with all that being said, you know, the resume that we had built up as fans may have been, you know, somewhat of an illusion. You know, we played our best ball early in the season, and we all know that post Thanksgiving is when things start to heat up. And since Thanksgiving, we haven't been playing that well. Other than the Cincinnati game and maybe the second half of the game at home against Cleveland, but since then, other than that, they really haven't been playing that well. And so you brought up Tomlin. What's your take on Tomlin? What do you think the Steelers should do? Are you now out on Tomlin?
No,
because I'm not out on Tomlin either.
I'm not out on Tomlin, but the coaching staff is
Pat Meyer and he's got to go. Offensive line coach, he's got to go.
He has to go to where Austin has to go. And I'm on the fence with Arthur Smith.
I think that's crazy. I don't think it's necessarily Arthur Smith as much as it is the players and the execution with the players.
But what difference have we done? Okay, I'm thinking of 2 weeks ago when he said that we're going to start faster on offense on the first drives.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't started faster. We haven't started fast at all.
A coach can say a lot of things,
yeah.
But if the players don't go out there and execute, here's what I'm seeing on the offensive side. On the offensive side, I'm seeing an offensive line that sucks at pass protection, particularly Broderick Jones and Dan Moore. I think they're both allowing edge rushers to dominate game in and game out, and they're looking terrible.
But that's something that we said.
Russ, in my opinion, is not playing well under pressure. I feel like he needs a lot more time. I feel like Russ is not necessarily washed, but he needs to go to a place that's suited towards him. And I don't think we're that place. Because I think this. If you put Russ on a team with a good offensive line and a solid receiving core, I think they're a playoff team and then they could do well. He's not been a part of that since he's left Seattle. And I don't think that's here because he's constantly getting rushed. He's constantly trying to move and do things that he can't do anymore, and he's making mistakes. I don't think right now we are a team that's built for Russell Wilson to look his best because he's not the same player that he used to be in Seattle. He doesn't have that athleticism. He doesn't have that mobility. He doesn't have that escapability anymore. You see it from time to time, but he can't do it consistently.
See, that's why, Trey, I wish you was here. I really wish you was here because he was the main one on the rush train.
I don't think it's a Russ or Justin because I don't think Justin's ready either. Do you think Justin Fields comes in here and makes a difference on this team right now? Because I don't. I do not think so.
We can't say that. We don't know that.
We got 6 weeks of it in the beginning of the season. I'm not a believer that Justin Fields could come in and do a better job right now. If we want to get into offseason and talk about what we should do and maybe build up Justin Fields and keep Justin Fields as a bridge and possibly a guy that can be the future and try to see if he can be that, sure, I'm down to listen to that, but we're going into week 18. You can't make a quarterback change in week 18 going into the play. It's too late for that. We got to ride Russ.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. Like we have no choice. But it's still in the back of my mind that like some stuff that we do with Russ, I think some of them are meant for Justin Fields. Is because like some of them read options that we do is mostly for Justin Fields, but Justin Fields not out there, and we're thinking that Russ is like the same Russ that's like old Russ that if you give him read options, he can run for 10 plus yards. This one can't really. Maybe 6, maybe 7, but I want to get the topic off of Russ. I want to go back to Arthur Smith. So I understand the whole, you can't really blame Arthur Smith because he's not the one executing the plays, but do you not think that our plays are like predictable on first and second down?
At times I do. At times, but I mean, I remember you were texting in the middle of the game, like after they got stuffed on first down on a run, but literally the first down prior, they were passing the ball and Russ got sacked, and he held the ball on too long and he couldn't get out of the pressure, and he took a sack that put us back, and I think it was a penalty or something that gave us a first down. But regardless of the fact is that is Arthur Smith going to bat 100? No, he's not. He's going to have some bad play calls. It's not going to be all good. But I think, with what we've seen throughout this season, the uppage in yardage per game, the uppage in points per game, and all these things, I think that he has a play on that. And to be honest with you, again, I'm more concerned about the players on offense rather than the coaching on offense. The defensive side of things, it's kind of flip-flop for me. I'm more worried about the coaching, whereas I'm not as worried about the players.
Because we're still not moving TJ around, and like he's standing on one side the whole game.
He has always done that.
But yes, but we have to change it up because everybody knows what he's going to do. Like the scheme has to change where he needs to move on the other side, move like. I just see TJ one side. We're banking on TJ to do what he do because it's TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm. You think he's still hurting a little bit?
I don't think he's hurting. I just think that we just need to move him around. Switch sides with Highsmith once or twice. I just need to see.
From what I've read, it's not necessarily the coaching staff that's hesitant with doing that. I think it's TJ himself that really, really prefers that side. And I mean, like, it's like a whole footwork and hand motion and things. I think he's so locked in on that side and playing that side that's just what he's accustomed to. When it comes to defense, though. Do we want to kind of transition to the defense?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I do think it has mostly to do with coaching, but I'm also worried if some of these guys are kind of starting to slow down a little bit. I mean, TJ, I feel like hasn't had the season that he's been having for the last 4 or 5 years, and maybe that's a little bit to do with his ankle right now because he got banged up in that Philly game. And he's, with the 3 games in 11 days, he's never really got to recoup. Maybe we might see a different TJ Watt coming out against the Bengals with, around the same amount of days, but rest. Maybe that can make the difference. But right now, I think coaching on defense is an issue. The allowing people wide open, Patrick Queen, Cam Hayward, Deshaun Elliott, Alex Highsmith, they all had stuff to say about it after the end of the game, venting their frustrations. Do you think that they're talking about Cam Sutton or Minkah Fitzpatrick?
To be honest, I don't really care who they're talking about. We playing trash. The whole defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Been terrible the last 3 games. If you want to point fingers, point at yourself. We all look bad.
Yeah.
So I don't like the whole thing about Cam Sutton and other players, like coming at Cam Sutton, trying to like directly say something to him. Is like we all play bad.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You want to point the finger at people. As a whole, we suck. So it don't matter to me who they're talking about.
Well, Tomlin in the press conference did say that the team met on Thursday, the day after Christmas, to kind of air things out. And from the players talking in the locker room and the way that Tomlin sounded in the press conference, it seems like maybe some air has been cleared. Some things have gotten off some people's chest. And hopefully that makes a difference. I mean, if it is one person, because I saw some film breakdowns of, Cam Sutton and Minkah going to the same spot multiple times, leaving guys wide open.
That was wasn't that that was.
I think it might have been the Travis Kelce touchdown.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. Not only that, wasn't it the Mark Andrews touchdown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
No, that exact same thing happened too. Yep.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is the whole team is not playing Steelers football. Edge rushers aren't getting home. The linebackers and DBs aren't making plays on the ball.
Our rush defense
like they
sucks.
haven't done. Rush defense hasn't been there. On offense, they're allowing too many stupid turnovers. Najee dropping the ball. Freiermuth fumbling, right? Russ inopportune times of interceptions or his fumble himself that he had in Baltimore. All these things are not Steelers football. And the question of it is can it get turned around? Are you in belief that it can get turned around?